Cool, perfect. So, of course, the topic of the show is about the do's and the don'ts. And, of course, you brought up one of the prime examples of what you shouldn't do while you're overseas, and I think we'll first focus on Dominican Republic or some of the things that you don't want to do, while you're traveling. And I think, I don't know what we want to do. Is want to touch on talking about solo traveling first, or which topic you want to touch on first?
We can talk about whichever ones. We can talk about solo travel. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay. So let's start with that. For those of you that like to travel solo, such as us, that we travel solo a lot. Of course, we know what it's like when you're trying to travel and you invite a couple friends, and unfortunately, they bail out on you as usual. It's hard to get a group of brothers together. So here's some tips that we want to ensure that you're traveling safe. And I know that we talked about it before during our last broadcast about watching your drink while you're at a club. That's one of the first things you may want to do. Well, you want to do while you're traveling. Be careful while you're at a disco, because one of the things is that people they will slip different drugs in your drink, and to get you,
especially in Colombia.
Yeah, especially Colombia. That's not a place you want to play, especially in Bogota. That was one of the things they're known for.
For me, how I look at it, I will always suggest everybody to travel with somebody if you can. Now, if you can't, it's not the end of the world. You can still. I actually prefer, traveling solo, because you meet different people as you're traveling. And then it's not necessarily that you're like solo per se, So I always suggest people to travel in groups. But if you are gonna travel solo, what it does is brings less attention towards you. When you're traveling in a big pack and things like that, there's more eyes on you, more people seeing you. So when you're solo or like one or two people, it's easier to go under the radar. That's number one. Number two, I would say, when you're traveling solo, you get to do whatever you want without having somebody, say they don't want to do that, or they don't want to try this, or anything of that nature. So you're more free. You have more of an opportunity to explore without any kind of restrictions, like you said. So those are the benefits of traveling solo. And then also, you get to experience, you get to really get a sense of who you are once you start doing that. Because once you start communicating with different cultures and different people and see how you interact, man, that's something that, me personally, that's something that can't be replaced. I live for those memories. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, and one also another tip I want to give you guys, for those of you that are coming from either up north or so, and you need a layover to get to some of these destinations, such as Dominican Republic or Colombia. And I know that most of our flights are very early mornings or so, like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or so. One thing I would definitely tell you: don't fall asleep before you board the plane. That I could tell you personally, I have actually almost missed a flight because of that, because I actually fell asleep waiting.
Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. I always fall asleep during the plane. Do not fall asleep before the plane, especially if you have to do a connection flight. So for me, I'm from Miami, so I kind of have an advantage, because living there, going to places like Colombia and DR, the tickets are very cheap. So it's kind of like just one way. So that's also a little tip for you brothers, is that if you could find a cheap flight to South Florida, either Fort Lauderdale or Miami, from there you can get to other Caribbean countries or Latin countries for really cheap. So just wanted to give that point out there.
And right now, I noticed that a lot of the tickets are going up. I was just looking for a ticket right now.
They are.
Expensive.
I was looking for a ticket to leave out of here, and then these tickets are going up.
Yeah. For us, out of Chicago, I'm looking at $500-600 right now. Back to pre-COVID already.
Oh wow, to Colombia
or even DR, whichever.
500-600. Nah. See, at least for me, it's still under. It's still under 250.
Oh, nice.
When you're coming from South Florida, so yeah, I used to get it for under 200 every time. So man, I was in Colombia, DR every other month.
Nice. Yeah. I wish it was that much. Me, my tickets is just always 500, 600, man. That's why
Hmm.
during this pandemic, I loved it. That's why you saw I was flying everywhere, every
Yeah.
chance I got.
Oh
Because
man.
price was like $300, $400.
And
You
for
know,
you, that's a steal.
hell yeah, that's a steal more than anything. I could tell you, I was like on cloud nine, so I was just buying flights left and right. So
Yeah, left and
it's just,
right, left and
I'm
right.
like, screw this. But
Mhm.
yeah, man, that's one of the things I wanted to throw out there about the flights and everything. But one thing I also want to touch on is about clothing. While you're in these other countries. One of the things that I've noticed that a lot of these dudes will do is that they will try to stunt on poor people. And it's like, why you need like a Gucci Louis belt on? Why do you need like a designer T-shirt? Gucci advertising, all that stuff that you're doing is drawing a lot of attention to yourself.
You big dummy.
That's basically how they know definitely that you're a gringo, that they're gonna try to get some money out of you. And not only for the fact that I'm saying that for you, but it also affects everybody else, all other Americans that go there. So that's one of those topics. It's like, I know that people want to show out whenever they travel, but it's like when you go to some of these countries, you don't want to do that. I can understand if you go into like Cancun or something, on a cruise boat, but not to these countries that we go to, that we speak about.
Yeah. Now to touch back on that, I understand that everybody wants to look nice. Everybody wants to look cool. And nobody is saying to not wear your jewelry or not wear this and that or whatever like that. But when you're doing stuff like that in a third world country where people that don't have much, what you do, you're bringing a lot of attention to yourself. You're bringing a lot of unnecessary attention to yourself, and then people can be scheming on you or whatever. They over here looking at what you got. Me, for instance, if you go to Colombia, right, and then you're in shorts, people are gonna see you as a gringo, like automatically.
Well,
Automatic.
in Medellin, that is.
Oh, in Medellin,
Yeah,
yes, in
yeah.
Medellin. So that's one thing that you try to blend in the culture. You know what I mean? So some people don't want to blend in. They want to stand out. But let me tell you, the places you want to stand out is Miami, is Vegas, is LA. Those are the places you can stand out because it's not you're paying taxes there, so it's a little different. When you're trying to stand out somewhere else, I would recommend against it. Me personally saying, I would recommend against it. You wanna come and enjoy yourself. You don't want to put a target on your back. And just like what Jude did previously, he was throwing money on a Friday, on a Saturday, and then once Sunday came, he was still throwing money. You put in a target on your back. So.
Yeah. That's just stupid. It makes no sense in these developing countries, just to do that type of stuff. And it's just like that's exactly what happened.
You're not impressing anybody. You're not impressing me.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to, I could go get some money and start throwing around. But for what? Like first of all, I have too much respect for my pockets to just go ahead and do that. If I'm not in a strip club, there's no reason to do that. And then yeah, bro, I got too much respect for my finances to just be trying to live out a dream that I know I'm not. Because you know what? Half of these weekend warriors, as soon as they go back home, they right back to working.
Yep.
Right back to working a 9-to-5 job and saving up their pennies until the next 2 years that they can travel again. You see?
Exactly.
You see brothers like us, we can travel every so often because we know how to budget every spending. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I consider myself as a budget traveler because whenever I travel, I don't go so ham on it so that I can travel again.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. And you know what? It just actually brings to something I want to share. I'm sure you probably seen this video floating around or so about the guy that was in Colombia who wanted to floss on Instagram or WhatsApp, and then he got robbed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So hold on. Let me share that video here. Let's see here. Gonna choose it. Hold on a second here.
I should have sent you that other video so you can post up too.
Yeah, that would have been nice as well. So here we go.
Hola, Colombia. John has finally made it to Medellin. This is John, a black traveler that had decided to flash money to poor-ass women on WhatsApp. This is what he had to say to a lady on WhatsApp. Apparently, she brought a lot of other poor people to talk to him. Now, John has went from WhatsApp to GoFundMe to get back home. Don't be a John. Hashtag dumbass.
So,
you can get robbed, you can get killed anywhere, man. So brothers need to stop going on vacation and thinking that it's all grand, you know. And Colombia, exactly. I know we spoke about this before. Maybe we can have another safety topic about it. But Colombia ain't the safest place in the world.
Nope. It always had that stigma. Always had that stigma of not being safe. From the early 90s to even into the 2000s. So you definitely want to protect yourself.